Hey, hi, this is Vishal, and today's topic is SQL injection. So, SQL injection is a technique where the malicious user can inject a SQL command into the SQL statement via the web page. So, an attacker could bypass authentications like access, modify, and delete data within the database. In some cases, SQL injections can even be used to execute command on the operating system, or it's a potentially allow an attacker to escalate to more damaging attacks inside of a network that sits behind the firewall. Basically, you should know a database. What is a database? A database is an arrangement of your websites, a backend informations, and the list of databases MySQL, and it's open source. Another is MS SQL, MS Access, Oracle, Postgre, SQLite. So today we'll discuss about MySQL database. So there are types of SQL injection: inbound, outbound, and blind like SQL injection. So what is SQL injection exploitations technique? Again, you can see error-based SQL injection, union-based SQL injections, boolean-based exploitations, and the time-based delay exploitation, out-of-band exploitations, SQL injection. Like these are the types of or techniques used in SQL exploitations. We try to identify where the applications interact with DB, like database, on the authentication page, search field, post field, get field, HTTP header, and cookies. These are the interactive field where you can find the parameter where you can inject your query, SQL queries. So these are the application interactions where you can inject your query. Right. Let's see basic SQL injection. So before start the sessions, what I'm going to do here, we are hacking a website. Okay, so website is made by a front page and backend page. So what is front page and backend page? Front means your website. When somebody like any visitor visiting your website, these guys will see the front page details. Okay, but which is readable only. Backend means what? Backend is built for the developer parts, or it is backbone parts of your website, which is not accessible for normal visitor. Okay, if you want to access that backend part or you know like database part, you need a credentials or access. If somebody having the credentials or access of backend, then these guys can manipulate entire website. He can do the changes, he can add a user, or he can do a malicious activity. So that's why a backend database is secure. But SQL injections can hack backend data and manipulate the website. So there are the another functions of SQL which we call basic SQL function. There are a select, insert, update, delete, order by, and limit by. So what is the use of select functions? It is just read the data from the database on the search criteria. And insert is a new data. You can add the new data into the database. Update means existing data based on the given criteria. Delete means what? It is deleting the data based on the given criteria. Order by means what? It is used to sort the result set in ascending or descending order. Right. So we will see the order by functions in entire sessions. A limit by means what? The statement is used to retrieve the record from one or more tables. So SQL injections character is inverted comma or double inverted comma. So remember that things we will use that or in our SQL injections methods. Another is multiply line comments. So if you want to do multiple line comments, you can use backslash star dot 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 star and slash. Where to use this? We'll learn. So there are a number of symbols which we can use for further. Database fingerprinting. So if there is an error, what is the meaning of that error? That means if you found you have an error in your SQL syntax, or if there is like check the manual that correspond to your MySQL server version, like use near 1, limit 0 and 1. If you found such kind of error, it means the database is MySQL. But if you found SQL command not properly ended, like that kind of error, it means that website is use Oracle database. And in case you got the error like Microsoft SQL native client error, it means there is MS SQL database. So this is the basic things which you want to know, right? Okay, so now let's create or build a vulnerable labs. So we will see a step by step. So I am adding it in the phase. This entire video will be in a phase 1 and phase 2 and phase 3. First phase is what? Create a vulnerable machine or lab or the website. What is a vulnerable machine or website? So I'm not going to attack on any website directly. I'm going to build my website here. Where is a number of vulnerabilities for learning purpose only. So I am going to attack on that vulnerabilities which are the based on the SQL vulnerabilities. So I am going to show you how can I hack and how can I learn SQL injections. Right. So let's build a website, vulnerable website for SQL injections attacks. The phase number 1 will be there. And the phase number 2 will see how to attacks. And number 3 will see the countermeasure. So first, complete the lab, create a vulnerable machine. I'm going to use a Docker concept for building SQL lab. Alright, I already done this. If you want to download, okay, Docker, you can type here sudo, or if you're having already access of root, you don't need to type sudo. Type sudo apt install and docker.io. So that command used to download a Docker in your system. So it's already downloaded, so I'm not installing or downloading a Docker. Okay. Second command is just type docker pool and this line. Okay. Now what will happen? That SQLi labs will download here. So basically it's downloaded. I don't want to download again. And the next line is what? A docker run -d -p 8380 and like this line. So what happened when I type this? Don't type this command before pull. So once you pull, then you can type this command. Okay, and the pull command must be typed once. Fire this once in your system. Okay, and later you don't need to type a pull command, because once you downloaded that lab in your system, later you don't need to again pull the system, again pull that SQL labs. So next time you can type docker run -d -p and the port number which you want to open. So you can change the port number here 83 or 8080, it's your choice, or you can type 8080 as well. Okay, I use 83 port number to start SQLi labs on port number 83. Okay, 80 is nothing but the websites run on the Docker, and I can access that on the 83 port number. Done. Now the last command is what? Open this link on your website or the browser. So let's open browser, type here IP address of your Kali system, and if you want to do this on your base Kali system, then you just open browser and type here localhost :8 3. enter, boom. So SQL lab page, it's a challenge actually. Okay, if I click on there, so it will not show like that. For showing the labs, first basically you need to click on the setup reset database lab. So once you click there, your lab will be set up properly. So if your page look like this, it means your SQL lab is set up over here properly. If not showing these things, then there may be some issues. Now click on back and click on SQL lab. There is a lesson 1, 2, 3, 4 and 22. Okay. So I'm going to click on the lesson number 1. This is. So phase number 1 is completed. Lab setup and everything is done. Now phase number 2 is what? Try to find the SQL queries and do the exploitations. So now here it is. So before jumping into the darken labs, before using before jumping into a darken labs, let's first understand the basic. Okay, what is the basic? How query get executed at the backend, how queries are the formats. Before jumping into the darken labs, let's first understand the basic. Basic like how query get executed at the backend and how queries are formed. How can we break them and what are exactly is SQL injections. Now, so consider the log page, okay, like login page, where you are the requested to the enter username and a password. Okay, for example, here is I'm looking for like any in URL colon admin slash login dot php. So I can find number of pages here. Right, there is XY website. I don't know who is the website belongs to. Right. Now what happened here? So there is a username and a password which I want to guess because I'm not the owner of that website. Right. And I want to hack the website, right? So in that cases, one is like if whether I have the password and username, I can log in there properly. But if I don't know user and password, I am looking for the SQL injections. So what is SQL injections? To enter here some queries, SQL query, and try to inject that query here, and then you will get that access, admin access. So how it is possible? Yes, it is possible because of the developer. This website developer is not properly sanitize the proper coding. So whether I type here something like that and enter, you might be getting access. Okay, this website is good, so it means what? You cannot log in here properly. So whether I type here the same code here on the website, I don't know the website. Okay, I just try it and boom, we get inside the website. So this I want to explain you in entire sessions. How can you inject any kind of like SQL query on the your login page, and how you can get inside the page, the admin page, the dashboard access. So this is the simple methodologies and the concept. So SQL query is not like this only. There are number of injections. So let's learn all that injections and all that challenges. All right. So now consider the login page where you are the requested to enter username and password. When you enter user and password, a query or SQL query is generated at the backend, which get executed and the result is displayed to us on the home page after login. Okay. So how that happened? In the backend, it is collecting. Select means what it is collecting from. Okay. So I'm just search like if I type here let's log out and look at here. I'm typing here admin. The password likes admin. So what happened? That admin and the password is password. It's in I just insert that user and password here, but user and a password is wrong because actually user is not this. Okay, it's not this. But what happened while it's showing me the error message? Whatever I type here, like user admin and a password, that will send on the website in that format, in that format to the database. So database having the username like something XYZ and the password like something XYZ. So that is stored in the table. Okay, so I don't know what is the table on the that database backend because I don't know the database and backend everything I don't know. But when you inject your user and password, this web page in build coding know where to go backend and where is that user and password is stored. So whether you type username as admin and password admin, and in a database there is no user like admin and password like admin, then you will get an answer like wrong user and password. So basically you should know a correct user and correct password. So that query will send from the page like select from the table where user is admin and the password is something like that. That will you will getting the exact user and password. If you having the exact user and password, you will get a access. Right. So it is totally on the developer how they enclose the parameter value in the SQL query. He can enclose the parameter value in a single quote, double quote, or the double quote with the bracket like this. Okay, okay, like this. So all in any form of total developer choice. I'm explaining further using the first query. Okay, this one. Now what if I enter username like this, adding inverted comma? What will happen? If I enter the username like this, a backend query will be look like how? Like select from the database name, like where is a user is this, the password is this. So extra inverted comma will be there. Okay, which is system like no synthetically wrong because of an extra quote. So why I'm showing you like adding a extra inverted comma? Why I'm explaining this? Because I want to add I want to create a error. Let's see whether I typed there anything wrong. What is the response of database? Okay, now how to get the details from database by adding unwanted things and something else. So whether I type here like admin and inverted comma, because what happened, a developer use this syntax like it is getting the user and password from our site and send to the database by using inverted comma and the user and inverted comma. What if I type extra inverted comma, then what will be the answer? Then the answer is okay, like yes, it is possible to fix. So what is the answer? So answer is nothing, like it send the like query like this. Okay, which is actually wrong. So how can we fix this broken query? It is possible to do so. Yes, it is possible to fix our query even with username whatever you want to type. So we can do some commenting out the entry query after that. So our valid query will be look like this. Okay, how like this. So if I type inverted comma, single inverted comma, then the remaining query will not forward like the password and everything. So what happened here, when you typing like admin is a admin, user is admin, and the password is something XYZ, and adding the extra inverted comma, it means what? If I add extra inverted comma, then it will not get other queries. Only the query will say like this, itna, that one only. Okay, because of extra inverted comma, which is systematically or syntactically correct. Now what? How it is correct? It is not sending the password, but still it is correct. How? Let's see. How to comment out the remaining query? Like, well, it is depending on the database that is there at the backend. So we generally use hyphen hyphen, plus for commenting. So if I enter username like inverted comma extra and hyphen plus, then it will symmetrically correct like type hyphen plus. Now the remaining password wala part will not, you will not consider. Okay, only the username will send to the database, and let's log in. Okay, so like that. So it will not ask for the password. Right? The password part will be a different queries. So how? The comments query at the backend will look like this. You know, so this is the different. This is the username, and the password is XYZ. Whatever you type that is after the AND query. Now extra query is added here, AND query. But our database will read only, execute only. What? Read and execute only. So select start from table name where user is Raj. This merge query, because everything after hyphen plus will be commented and will not be interrupted as a part of the query. So the other part will not consider, the password part will not consider, right? So now this is a what if called SQL injection, changing the backend query using the malicious input. So I can input here like admin, or what I type here, this part, not adding, or let's type hyphen plus, or do the same here like if I type this, and I got access. Let's see. I don't know if you guys are having the interesting doubt or not, but I had even was learning all this stuff, and the doubt is according to the above query form with committing, we don't need a valid password to log in. Yes, if a developer had not taken measure to prevent SQL injections and implemented the query as shown above, it is possible to log in using the only username. Whether developer is not take the precautions. Okay, only username is used to log in, not necessary we have a password as well. Now check out the challenge number one. Okay, here it is. Challenge number one, lesson number one. Okay, you can type here question mark ID and one. Look at the login is a dump and the password is dump. It's okay. So how to do this practical? Okay, so you can keep the increasing ID value like 1, 2. Okay, the 2 is a Angelina and the password I kill you. Okay, so this is not actual environment. What I'm talking about. We will notice all that get an empty screen with no username and password till like 14, or might be on the number like 14 or 15 something. Yes, there is nothing. So with no username and no password means nothing, the data on that ID. Okay, so in the 14 or 15 ID there is nothing. Okay, so there is no any records. So backend query must be something like select from the table name where ID is equal to 1, or like this, or like this, right? So now what happened at the point we don't know how the developer enclose the value of the ID parameter. Let's find out. Break the query by fuzzing ID like 1 or something like this. But I can do here inverted, typing the inverted comma. So what I done here, I'm just break the query. Okay, we get in the SQL syntax error. So this error will help us finding the back in the query, and we will do SQL injection using the error. This is type of SQL injections is called error-based SQL injection actually. So whether they not showing any error, it means there is no SQL injections. You can type inverted comma, type tuple. Okay, otherwise you can type single inverted comma as well. Okay, why? Because I wanted to show you here like whether they use the query like select from the table ID is equal to inverted comma wala, or the inverted comma and this, or like this. You can type like this also. Copy. Alright. and open browser, inverted comma, like this. Okay, so there is an error. It means what? They use this also or this also, but not double inverted comma. It's okay. Now you can do SQL injections by using the inverted comma and that inverted comma and bracket also for further. Okay, so what it's showing, that's showing the version like this. So now I am going to show you some another things like let's see, uh, type here again inverted comma plus plus and minus. Now it is minimizing what we done the error, which is minimize that error. Now time to execute phase number 2 attacking. Okay, what I'm done here, I'm just doing the attacks. Okay, now we'll try to do add a query between the quotes and these quotes and between this, right? So what are the queries we want to add here? We'll use another like select query here as well to get information from the database. But the question is, will two select queries work together? No. So now we want to find two or use the two queries. The select query will not work here, right? So you can use union operations or union queries. The union operation is used to combine the result set of two or more select statement. So, but for the union operation, there is one, a precondition that number of column on the both side of the union operations should be same. Okay. So now, since we don't know the number of column in the select query at the backend, so first we have to find the number of column used in the select query. Okay, for this we will use order by clause. How to use order by clause? Order by clause will arrange the result set in the ascending and descending order of the column using the query. Uh, do it. How to do this? I'm adding here order by 1, like I said. Now it is not showing me any query error. So what if I type here 100, the unknown column 100 in a order clause? Okay, it means what? It's showing the error. It's showing the error. So there are no any 100 columns. You need to minimize that one. Okay, like order by and only 10. So still there is no 10 column. What is about 5? 5 also not. Let's type the 3 column is there. What about the 4? 4 is not there. So in short, there are only 1, 2 and 3 column existing. Okay, only 3 column existing and the further is not. So total number of column is 1, 2 and 3. They showing error on the number of column 4. Okay, so I found the column. This is show that there is no fourth column in the query. So now we know there is 3 column in the query at the backend. So now we can use the union operator with another select queries actually. So how to use this? Remove this all and type here inverted comma union, right? Now select. Union means you are injecting 2 or 3 queries using the union operators. Now type here 1, 2 and 3 hyphen hyphen. If you type here inverted comma and the plus and the plus and the plus, enter. Okay, it's showing me the number, something number, right? What I am going to add here, the number on negative IDs. Okay, because of the starting the we have to add the negative ID for union queries. Okay, this is again actually the providing the ID does not exist like that. So this show we are getting the value of like 2 and the 3 column as output. So we will use these 2 columns as a extract information like about the database and form of database. How? Okay, you can add the commands or queries on which is disable number, like the query like this is the 2 and 3 columns which we can remove and add here any queries of SQL injection like version, enter. So it will display that versions of MySQL here. If I type the version query, here on number 2, it will not display because one number is not displaying. Okay, one number is not displaying. No way, right? So just inject the query where is only the table number is showing here, like 3 or 2. Even you can inject the same query the number 2 as well. Okay, and enter. Version 3, sorry, you should type query properly. Done, like that. So how many queries is there for injections? There are a number of queries. Okay, for example, let me show you. You can type users for the finding the current user. Let me show you. If I type here user, enter. Now it's showing me the root and @ and localhost user, right? If I type here database, it will show me the database name. Enter. It's a database name. It's security. Correct. What about the version which I just show you? The schema name? Yes, current schema name. Let's find out the schema name as well as the security schema name. So UID also you can see current user, system user, session user, host name, a temporary directory, and data directory also you can see. So everything you can see using that commands. Just follow the commands. In order to union injection to work, we should first know the name of the tables in the database, and for the types of like this, like union select one. Okay, it's okay. Now I want a table name, that's why I'm just adding the extra query table underscore name. And the last of column we can type in form, like from where I want to know the name of table. I want name of table from information schema table. And where is that information schema table? It is in the table schema and in the database. That's all. If I want to click or to copy this, I can copy this entire. Okay, let's copy this. Open your browser and type here. I want to find table underscore name, right? Comma, and the last paste here from information underscore schema dot tables and enter. You can just type like this, okay, and add here group underscore concat, enclose the table name and enter. So you'll get all tables names, or all tables names. If I copy paste this anywhere, I just open and paste here. The login name is like this. This is the table name. Whole are the table name. Okay, in your database. These are the table names. Right. All are tables names. That's all. Let's close this. Don't save. Again, I'm just open here and just removing these and just follow the steps which are mentioned in our article. Just type here where table schema equal to database and open close bracket. Right. Yes, I think so. I just missed something. From information schema tables, where table schema is equal to database. So copy this and paste here. Table a name, right? So from information, why I'm adding a plus? Because plus is nothing but a space. So whether I just keep the space, it will encode the space into URL encoding and showing like that percentage and number something. So that's I want to ignore and just add a plus command. So plus command will not encode further. Okay, even you can add here like it's okay then. Enter. Now what happened? Again here it is not showing. Plus enter. So table name from information schema tables where table schema is equal to database. It is showing me like only the emails, not the proper things. Now what to do for the next? Showing the emails only. As you know, see that we have a query will show you the name of the one table in the database. For example, email. Now something programs may not print all the rows, so we will have to check there is a raw database only using the limit keywords. Okay, so you can use a limit 1 and 1 like that. If I use this, what will the consequences? Let's see. Add here after query, adding the plus and add this. Enter. It is changing and a reference and other things like. So what is if I enter here 2? It's showing me another table. So ultimately, whether I type here, 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, it's showing in the tables and tables. So in the 3 number, there is a users table. It's okay. I wanted a users table actually. So where is my website? The target website's users will be stored. So I don't know what is the table name of users they store. So this is a user table where maybe the website's information is or sensitive users information is stored. Now I got a user is user. Okay, now the next is what? Let's do even you can do one more thing. What? Let me show you. Without adding that, what I told you before that, do here like group and concat as well. है inverted wait, yeah, close that, enter, and then remove this one. Right, so we'll get a table name like emails, referrals, urgents, and users. Boom. So group concat is good. Now I have a username, sorry, I have a table name, so I'm going to remove this and adding here like users in inverted comma. So it's not table schema, it is a table name. So now remove this table name, add a table name, and now I'm looking for the columns inside the tables. So remove these tables and replace its columns. And now I want table name, not a table name, I want a column name. Column, now enter. So what happened here? I got an ID in the username and the password. Great. So copy this, paste here, paste. Right in. Okay. Now from here that columns I want that column from users table. Right. So some okay, sorry, it must be here like comma. Now happen. Okay, so user is down and sorry, password is down. What about the username? Open should be contain one column at least. So remove this and enter. So if user is a dump and a password also dump. What about the email? No, there is no email, I guess. Email. Right, it's okay. So what we found here, username and a password, basically, right? That's a awesome thing, right? Even you can type, right, like a group concat and try to find whole user and whole password. Let's see. Typing here username group underscore concat, enter, loop. All users like Angelina, Dummy, Secure, Stupid, Superman, the Batman, admin 123, all username is found here. What about the password? Password is like like dumb, I kill you, and the you, that all things is in show here. Everything is here. So basically I found the user and a password. Now I can copy that user and password and log in over here. Right. Right. So whether I don't have the user and password, it's okay. I can do SQL injections and find the username and password and inject here. So this is not the user and password of that website, Ultima Cargo. Okay, I didn't hack that Ultima Cargo. I wanted to show you just example ki whether you don't know user and password of any website, you can do SQL injections. So that SQL injections happen on on the parameter. So what was the parameter? Here it was the parameter, something like website something id equal to something number. Whether there is a parameter like id is equal to something, it means might be there is a SQL injections. The number like 1 2 3 4, anything number. So id or the cat or something other variable is there, and it is indicating to the number. So you can do the SQL injection by applying the inverted comma or double inverted comma or what we learned here. Just apply there, whether they're showing the error message, it means SQL injection may be there. So once you're getting the SQL injection, find out the number of column using the order queries. So once you find the number of column, here I got 3 columns. So once you're getting the columns number, then the next is use a union query. So what is a union query? Union query is used for to inject or execute 2 or 3 SQL queries at the same time. That's why I use a union operations for executing 2 or more select queries. And then we find a table names, and the table name was users, and later we wanted to know columns names which are the table. So there is ID, username, the password. That was a column. But what are the data in that columns? Use that queries and find the database. That's all. This is a normal SQL injection, manual SQL injection query. So now this is the SQL injections. Okay, if you paste here or if you type here, again on the page, click on that one. The session lessons number 1 is completed, error based single quotes injections. The second is error based per integer based injections. So how to resolve, how to execute the queries and find the database, that is another challenge. There are a number of challenge 1 2 3 till the 22 challenge. So you can learn lot of things, a lot of methods how to execute SQL injections on different websites. Whether there is not any perfect way, or there is a 22 possibility to hack any website using SQL injection. 22 possibilities. So we just learn one possibility to hack any websites and find the user and password. So later we can like log in on that website and we'll get a database access. Okay, like that. So you may having the like confusion why I inject that query and whether I having the access by typing this query, then why I need to do that entire methods. So whether you are not able to inject that query, not showing me exactly, not getting the access, then another method you can use like SQL injection, that second SQL injection method, finding the queries, parameter and all. So how to find the parameter on any website? You can type in URL and like type here ID equal to something number. Suppose I just type here 4 or just type here nothing. So look, imu.hu.in website having the parameter like ID equal to 1. So you can try over here as well like SQL injections. Okay, so let me invert here invert comma. Is there any error? Yes, I think so. They showing nothing, I guess. It's okay. So what about here? Here is also id equal to number. If I type inverted comma, it showing me something error. Let me try here. A poster. Okay. Inverted comma. Yes, it's a error. So what if I type here order by one? No query. Even you can add here in hyphen plus as usual I will use. It's okay, fine. No error. Okay, so type here inverted comma and enter. Okay, so that's all. So you can do on the another website as well as and find the user and password. I hope so you guys understood. Fail. Right. Thank you.